Today, I want to take you on a journey, or rather an expedition. And it's going to be a really exciting journey, and a journey where you will learn a lot about yourself, about life, and really practical advice that you can better your life with, right? But it will also be, at some points, a hard journey, right? Because the truth can hurt sometimes. But at the same time, the truth sets you free. It liberates you, right? And this video is about this path of seeking the truth, of facing your inner demons, and to get on the path of light, right? And you might have the feeling of not feeling good enough. You might have bad sensations a lot. You might have even depression. And this video is here for you to lift you up. And if you're already at a good place, this can take you to the next level. And we're gonna show you why you self-sabotage yourself, what is your psychology, how your psychology was, and what's the shadow and the things that are holding you back in life and they're making you suffer. And without further ado, we will start the ascent now. We have like 1,800 meters. Our goal is to get in a cabin, and yeah, let's do it. Okay, we're here at the base of the mountain. You can see here's where we will go, all the way up here. We almost arrived. Here's the house. All right, we just arrived here at my cabin. We are around here at 1,800 meters, and there's really no technology around. It's really beautiful here. And I thought this is a beautiful place to kind of visualize what the path of light is about, right? Because we had the first journey where we went here, right? This is basically the journey to yourself, back into your inner world, into the places that you might not like at first, right? And it's a bit dark here, it's a bit spooky, you know, you could have fear here. And this is the path, right? The path is first into your shadow until you can really transform it into light and love. And now I want you to explain first what the shadow is, right? And then we're gonna try to make a meditation together where I really can show you and you can feel it for yourself how it feels, right? So first of all, it's really important to understand this concept of psychology, psychotherapy, shadow work, the disowned parts of yourself. It's not a concept that is a bit woo-woo, right? It's a concept that was discovered by the Western civilization, and it was discovered 100 years ago. And I bet you know, like Sigmund Freud and then Carl Jung basically developed this more and more. And it's really an empirical system. Of course, everything that is in the mind, you can't really put down in numbers and things like that, but you can still make studies on it, right? You can still confirm it. You can still look which method works and which not. So this is really proved and basically accepted by Western science, right? So what is the shadow? Everyone, including me of course, has a sense of self, what we would call our ego mind, right? Of course there's then also the higher self, right? But we also, everyone has an ego mind, right? And in this mind there are certain aspects of yourself that you don't like, that you don't love, that awareness or your higher self, so to speak, hasn't put light on yet. Because you suppressed those aspects. And these are not just like character traits of yours, this is also emotions that you don't like to feel, right? Fear, shame, anger, those kind of emotions. No one wants to feel those emotions, of course, because they don't feel nice, right? But they are still there. That's why you suppress it. You kind of look away from the problem, right? We have here this fire burning, right? And I kind of don't look at it. I just pretend it's not here, right? I don't feel fear, no anger, no sadness, don't feel that. So you can see it's still fucking burning here, but I try to suppress it. And that's the same thing that every person does. And this is a mechanism of the psyche to cope with those emotions, because we can't always feel the full fear, right? Because it would overwhelm you. And also when you grow up, certain aspects of yourself might be blamed or shamed from society, but also from your parents, right? This could be, for example, a person is at the dining room, a dinner table, and is eating, and he is louder, like as a kid, and the father's like, shut the fuck up, you know? Don't be that loud on the, you are eating. What's wrong with you? No, be quiet. So this person learns to, now, okay, if I'm loud, I don't get love and acceptance. So I better suppress this part of myself. And with him expressing himself, a lot of shadows attached. And this can be, especially in the society, some like violence, right? There's a big shadows about this. Like violence is also part of ourselves, but we don't really look at it. We don't integrate it. We don't look at it with love. But that's further away. Sexuality, you know, like woman and also us men, for our masculine expression of sexuality, we get shamed for this. That's why we suppress it. That's why you might have issues with women expressing your desire, expressing your intentions, because you have the feeling it's bad, you're hurting the woman with this, right? And then we have the shadows of society, you know? Like that the whole society is looking away. It's looking away at violence, war, at capitalism. There's something going clearly wrong here, but everyone pretends it's not happening, right? And this is the shadows that you have. We will go a lot deeper on this channel in the future, why exactly those traumatic experiences or those disassociations happens. But what we need to know for now is that everyone has shadows. Even if you had the best childhood upbringing that you had, you still had some subjective traumatic experiences. Because it's not about objectively is it traumatic or not, you know, is it subjectively traumatic? You know, you as a child you still have fear of death if you get lost in a supermarket, you know, but objectively you just got lost in a supermarket, but it feels like it's if you were dying. So it's a real strong emotion that we have to deal with, right? So let's close our eyes for a bit Not if you are driving, of course, and listening to this. And first of all, put your hand on your heart and breathe in through your heart and out again. And relax your whole body and breathe out again. Into your heart and out again. And now I want you to feel into your body. And I want you to reflect on the person that you are. And just look what sensations come up here, right? Is it a bit of a tension that you're feeling? Is it a bit of judgment towards yourself, like if you reflect on what you are, right? And now, which part of yourself are you not in congruence with? You know, you can see those manifests as problem in your life, of course. So this is just like to show you that you have parts in yourself that you are not 100% in love with and integrated, right? It's a process. Also, you can go really deep into meditations, which we will show also on this channel, and how to heal yourself. But for now, it's important to know that you have a shadow. Every person has a shadow, and this is basically parts in this person that this person suppresses and doesn't want to deal with. It puts you basically on the back, right? Like this fire, but it's still there. Now, all good and well, right, Raffaello? I have those parts, but you know, why should I care? Why should I even put in the work and effort and face my fucking fears and demons? You know? So, multiple reasons. Those shadows influence your life to an enormous degree, right? Also your dating life. So how it works is you have here your conscious mind, right? This is what we know as what we are conscious right now, your decisions. Then we have your subconscious mind. I'm sure you have heard that. And we have your unconscious. The unconscious is that where consciousness literally hasn't been yet. So this is why you also don't know how much shadows and demons you have, because it's unconscious. If you would know it, you would have integrated it, right? And those influence your life and your decisions that you make to an enormous extent. So first of all, your overall mood and vibration will get lower. You will attract less positive people in your life. You will have more difficulties meeting women. You will have more difficulties expressing yourself. You will have more difficulties and motivation to take action in your life, because those shame emotions, those fear emotions, right? You can imagine that they lower your vibe. For a person that is ashamed of his sexuality still can have a pretty high vibration, but this shame is kind of pulling him down always, right? So you have less energy. That's the first negative. Another is projections in your relationships. So, you know, you get triggered. Your shadows get triggered if you have certain things that happen in your life. For example, a girl doesn't text you back, right? Now, a girl doesn't text me back. This was me some time ago, and I was getting frustrated. I was like, fuck, you know, this fucking bitch, why isn't she texting me back, you know? Who does she think? Does she really know who I am, you know? And then she texts back, sorry, I was this and that, you know? So I was like, fuck, you know? So you get frustrated because she triggers some insecurities in me, right? it could be 100 reasons why she doesn't text back. Or even if she doesn't text back and is not interested anymore, you could even interpret it as like, yeah, we just weren't a good fit. Or like, she was too shy, you know. And you come from a different paradigm. But this is, first you have to integrate those parts, right? Because they get triggered in relationships. And what else? It's holding you back in your life. Because you have this certain perception of who you are and how much you deserve. And this is all like insecurities and demons holding you back. You're holding yourself back. How often have you started something and then you self-sabotage yourself, right? You are almost before you got successful and now you stop doing it, right? This is your shadow holding you back, your feeling of not good enough, you wanting to be in your comfort zone. So there's some reasons what shadows influence your life, but we will go on this deeper in other videos. For now, it's just important for you to know that the shadow is really influencing your life negatively, and the thing is, you don't even really notice it, right? It's like those problems that reoccur in your life all the time, the pain, the suffering, you know, it's just fucking draining, you know. All this it's like this little voice, back voice in your head that's telling you, you know, you're not good enough, you're a failure, we can do it, you know. That's your shadow fucking talking to it. And now I tell you a little story first and then we go on. So I came to this cabin once, and it was after I had kind of a breakup, and I came here because I thought, like, I used the chance to integrate, right? Because if you have a breakup, a lot of things get triggered. You cry, all this kind of stuff, right? So a lot comes up, right? And I thought I used this chance to make some shadow work. So I came here and I was sitting here in the bed alone, right? So the next person is like 1.5 hours away from here, from this cabin, and I was sitting here in the dark, and also the lights didn't work at that time here. So I was sitting here, and then it started, like the wind came, as if God like wanted to test me, kind of, right? And the wind came and it pushed at the house, right? And it made all sorts of noises, like all sorts of things you could hear from the wind, just the storm getting on this house. And I was sitting here alone by myself. And then, you know, my mind, of course, starts with all those thoughts, you know, imagining like someone knocking at the door and coming in, like wanting help, you know, and just someone coming here, a psychopath, like, and killing me, you know, all sorts of horror movies that I saw as a child, basically, you know. And then I was like, and the fear, and I said, okay, I felt really the fear, and then I was like, okay, let's try to sleep, you know, let's suppress it, because I didn't want to deal with it, you know. And I just like, but I couldn't sleep. I had so much fear that I couldn't sleep. So I was like, okay, man, let's face it, you know, let's face this fear. So I sat down and I went into the fear, right? And I saw a lot of things like in my mind, right, coming up. The fear was really strong and intense, like fear of death. Like I could feel it in my whole body. It took over my whole body, was shaking, and it was crazy. And it came up memories from my childhood that I didn't remember and all that kind of stuff, right? It came up, and I just stayed there. I just stayed there. And after I went into the fear, every emotion needs to pass at some time. What makes us suffer is that we suppress the emotions. Because if we suppress them, right, then they can't get out. Imagine like this is your fear and you close here, right? It can't get out, you know. The heat can't get out. It just gets stuck here and it influences your life. But if you open, then it starts getting out, right? And the healing starts. And I was sitting here after that, and after being through the fear, and I was sitting here in peace, in bliss. And I didn't have any fear no more, right? It was the same situation. The wind blowing at the house, the wind was still blowing. The same noises. But it was calming for me now. I could feel like I am alone here, in peace. And it was just nice. It became nice. So, it wasn't the wind that made me scared, right? And this is for all everything in life. It's your mind that projects fear. The fear is already in you. The fear was already in me. It just projected onto this situation that now the fear could come up more, right? I just projected it onto it, and that's why my mind created all these horror movie scenarios, because it's of the fear, right? Emotion creates thoughts, and thoughts create sensations and emotions. So, this is a good lesson for you, right? You might think most of the time the problem is in the outer world. This person is angry at me, but it's not the person that is angry at you. You can't see the anger in the person if you don't have the anger in yourself, you know? Another person could see the same person, like here, same situation, and have feelings of love for him. So really think about that. And this is about the shadow. I hope I could put more light on it. And now we will look at how the path of light continues. Okay, so what happens if you start facing your inner demons, right? Beautiful, before we were in a dark place, a bit of a specific touch. And you can see right now here, beautiful snow, beautiful mountain. So it's all worth it in the end, right? And if you start facing your inner demons and your fears, right? And the only thing you need is really to put awareness on it, right? Because as soon as you face them and you put awareness on your emotions, on parts of yourself that you don't are at peace, right? Then the awareness starts healing it, you know? You start feeling through those demons. It's basically like the lion behind you, and you're always scared of this lion, right? This lion is a part of yourself, or suppressed emotion or trauma, a shadow of you, right? And as soon as you turn around and face the lion, you know, the lion gets scared and it has no power over you anymore. It loses its grip, you know. You are free now. You can live from a place of more integrity, more love, and a new paradigm. And this, if you start doing this work like over a long period of time, right, then you get always a much more integrated version of yourself, a version that is more at peace with itself and everything that happens. And you're much more streamlined, you have more energy, your vibration goes up, of course, right? Because you don't have any more fear, shame that's pulling you down. So these are a lot of benefits, and it's really like this. After you did this process, after you went through your shadows, you will see the light at the end, like the love, the light, and you will feel like this amazing relief, and you will just be free, right? And this is, of course, also a lot related to dating, you know. For example, approach anxiety. It's important to know you won't just get over your approach anxiety by just meditating at home, right? You also need to take action. But you take action with more presence, awareness, and allowing the nervousness or the fear to come up. And on top of that, then you can also face your fear at home, right? This makes you less and less and less and less fearful of doing certain things. So you can go through your life and stay in a place of love. Where there is love, as we know, there is no fear. And other things, for example, if woman frustrates you, if you have certain anger, hate towards women, first allow these emotions and then look what is beneath it, right? Why do I have hate against women? What have women done me? And you start to slowly cleaning up and having a better relationship to the feminine, you know. You can, of course, also have results without doing this shadow work, but it's not the same type of results. It will always be a bit of a not feeling good enough. You're using women as a way of compensating, right? Or you seeing women as objects, you know. You can't, your woman to woman, your relationship to woman is a relationship to the world, you know. If woman frustrates you, the world is frustrating you. Because the world is the feminine, right? And you just need to start doing this slowly and don't basically trip yourself up if it doesn't work in the beginning, and just really keep on facing your fear, because at the end of the day there are a lot of men who are really courageous, brave, you know. They go, I don't know, they go into war, they go approach tons of women, they go MMA fighting, which is all great, right? Maybe not the word war, but facing your fears in the real world, you know, is great. But facing your fears inside yourself, that's the real scary thing, right? And if you can do both and face your fears until you basically see the truth, you know, then life will just get better and better each day. And the last thing I want to say is the truth. You will always at the end see the truth, that everything is love, everything is light, and you will come out at the light at the end of the thing, right? Because you just need to put awareness, and awareness and nature heals itself. So the only thing is you need to be present with your emotions, feel through them, and nature will do the rest for you. Because in the end we are all whole, we are all full in love, but we just need to realize that first. So we will now start the descent here with my buddy Florin, and we will go down. And at the end, I have a little thing to say, like practical advice that you can start doing. And in that case, we see us on the bottom of the mountain. Okay, this is the end of our journey, and as promised, some practical advice. So just start by getting in tune with your emotions, and the next time you feel really bad, instead of distracting yourself or doing something else, really use that opportunity to feel inside you. What's the real reason that you feel bad, right? Really discover, is it this person or this problem, or is there something deeper? And I encourage you just to go deeper and eventually get to know yourself better, and then start loving yourself more and more. I will link the Facebook group here, so you can just join everything for free advice, Q&As, and that's it. Subscribe, I guess, if you're not a fucking cunt like this insect on the lens. And yeah, that's it from me, and I see you in the next video.